I didn't set out to become a faceless voice on the internet. I was asked to carry a message, and in a place this small, speaking plainly has a cost. So I'm protecting what I must, my safety, my home, the people I love, so I can tell you the truth with nothing held back. I've lived in Costa Rica for over a decade. I've watched towns I adore shift from neighbors and night cricket silence to revolving doors and late-night suitcases. I've met people who came certain they'd stay forever and left at midnight, no goodbye. I've also met people who dug in, learned the language, and became part of the spine that holds a community upright. This is not a takedown piece, it's a lantern in a fog. If you've ever asked, why do so many people leave Costa Rica after a few years? Here's the answer: honest, layered, and soul-level real. And if you choose to stay, you'll know how to do it in a way that protects more than your view. Most stories start with money. The old promise, paradise for $1,000 a month, belongs to another era. Global demand reset the market. Rent in desirable areas doubled or tripled. That sweet $800 casita. Today it's a furnished short-term rental with a lockbox and a cleaning fee. Even inland towns feel the spillover as coastal families and workers move up the hills in search of something they can afford. Utilities sting too. If you need AC to sleep, your electric bill can look like a US summer. Import taxes push up the price of electronics and familiar brands. Groceries vary wildly. Feria prices are gentle. Big box and imported goods are not. What no one says loudly enough is the soul cost. When longtime Tico owners get edged out by speculation and short-stay economics, something irreplaceable thins out. I live next to people with serious influence. I won't name them, but I can tell you what pressure looks like. Units consolidated, renovations that swallow walls, an empty Airbnb above me for months because demand softened, and a steady push to acquire whatever is left, especially from local owners who are tired or under-resourced. Can you live well here on a sane budget? Yes, if you choose intention over image, inland instead of beachfront, feria over fancy aisles, long-term community over short-term flex. If you won't do that math, Costa Rica will do it for you and send you home. There's a reason so many stories are told in whispers. Crime has changed, not everywhere, not every day, but enough that the way you move through life here evolves. I've lived through a home invasion and an attempted robbery. I won't give identifying details. In a town this small, they'd point like arrows. But here's what I learned. You watch patterns. You learn the sounds of your own building. You notice who lingers, and you create community on purpose because alarms alone won't hold the line. Some crimes never make the paper. That's not conspiracy. It's economics and fear. Tourism dollars keep lights on. Gossip can get people hurt. So people adapt. Better lighting, dogs, reinforced doors, cameras that watch the street, not just the stoop, and WhatsApp groups that catch what the headlines miss. For some, these are reasonable precautions, and the beauty still wins. For others, the first violation shatters something that doesn't get rebuilt. If your nervous system came here for peace, and now it flinches at every late-night motorcycle, you'll start whispering the same sentence I hear often. I think I need to go. Spiritually, suspicion is corrosive. It eats neighborhoods from the inside. The antidote isn't paranoia, it's presence. No names, trade numbers, walk each other upstairs. When strangers become neighbors, opportunists look elsewhere. At first, the quirks feel charming. Then they collide with a deadline. Power goes out the afternoon you're filing immigration documents online. Water shuts off on the hottest day of the month. A road you drove yesterday is a river today. A tiny car part is on the way for 3 weeks. The delivery guy calls from the highway because your address is a description of a tree that no longer exists. If your nervous system is calibrated to everything works, the slow grind rewires you. If you can't bend, you'll snap. The people who last aren't the ones with the biggest budgets. They're the ones who build margin into every plan and learn to laugh when the printer runs out of ink at the exact wrong moment. Costa Ricans are kind, that's true. It's also true that friendliness is not the same as belonging. Belonging asks more of you. Learn Spanish beyond restaurant phrases. Listen before you critique. Accept that mañana might mean not today, and that direct confrontation can close doors that patience would open. If you bring a fix-it-my-way spirit, the land will spit you out gently, first with delays, then with doors that never quite open. I've seen both paths. The expats who thrive join football games, show up at school fundraisers, learn the neighbors' kids' names. The ones who don't plant roots end up in expat-only bubbles. Imported foods, imported drama, imported outrage. They never feel settled because they never truly arrived. Then they leave and say Costa Rica changed. Often they never changed enough to meet it. Private care here can be excellent. Public care can mean patience. Specialists may be far. None of that is new. What sneaks up on people is the ache. You miss more than birthdays. You miss the coffee that would have turned into a long conversation. You miss being in the room when a parent needs help with something simple. You miss your niece's laugh when the dog acts ridiculous. Life transmitted through a screen is still life, but it's thin. I've watched strong people make the bravest choice of all, to go back, not because they failed here, but because love pulled harder than landscape. Others stay and build a second family on purpose. Neighbors who become sisters, friends who become uncles to your dog, a church or community circle that shows up with soup when you're sick. If you don't build that net, gravity wins. Almost no one leaves because of one event. People leave because the scale tips. A rent hike lands the same month your car needs a part that's stuck at customs. The power flickers, the water cuts, the internet dies on Tuesday and returns on Thursday. Dengue hits your block. A friend gets robbed. Your favorite local family moves inland. The Airbnb above you sits empty for months, and the building feels less like a home and more like a commodity. One by one isn't a crisis. Together, they are a message. When the story you're living stops sounding like the one you came for, you start packing emotionally long before you email the shipper. I have skin in the game. I live next to power. I've watched people try to collect an entire building like chess pieces. Upper units merged into a private residence. Pressure on local owners until they consider selling just to breathe. I've heard the rumors, felt the tension in the elevator, and I've also felt something stronger rise to meet it. My friends are taking back management of their building from a company that forgot who pays the bills. The owners, not the gatekeepers. I'm helping them. We're auditing contracts, demanding transparency, hiring people who don't wink when they say, "Don't worry about it." It's not glamorous. It's guardian work. That's why I'm still here, because leaving would be easy. Staying is a choice to love a place with your actions, not just your captions. I won't give you the names of the powerful neighbors or the details of the night that stole my sleep. Small towns don't forgive that. But I can tell you what courage looks like in a place like this. It looks like ordinary people deciding they won't be managed by fear or by people who profit from it. Here's what staying with integrity looks like, whether you're in Costa Rica or any place fighting the same battle. Form a circle. Meet every owner or long-term renter in your building or street. Trade numbers. Make a simple WhatsApp with 3 channels: security, maintenance, community. Take back the books. If you're in a condo HOA, request full financials, vendor lists, and contract terms. Rotate board roles. Require 3 bids for big jobs. Publish minutes in plain language. Replace theater with systems. Cameras that see the street, motion lights, keyed entry that actually works, ID for vendors, and a no excuses rule for broken gates. Spend like a citizen, not a tourist. Buy from local farms and family shops. Hire honest local trades. Long-term leases over quick-turn profits when it's your call. Build belonging, learn names, celebrate small wins. Show up for the school fundraiser, coach a sport, host a potluck where everyone brings one dish and one story. Hold power quietly accountable. Ask questions in writing, follow up, bring a second set of eyes. Praise loudly when people do right. Guard your spirit, walk at sunrise, touch the ocean, sit with elders. Pray or be silent, but ask for the next right step, not the whole map. Costa Rica isn't a fantasy. It's a living place with a pulse and a memory. People who come here and stay are the ones who learn to hear both. If you leave, you're not a failure. Sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is go where your life can breathe again. If you stay, stay like a guardian. Your rent, your vote on the board, your choice of shopkeeper, your willingness to walk someone to their door, those are spiritual acts here. Why do people leave Costa Rica? Because money tightens, because safety shakes, because infrastructure wears them down, because belonging takes more humility than expected, because family calls, and because the small things add up. Why do some of us stay? Because we believe places are worth protecting, because we were given a neighborhood to love, not just a view to rent, because when good people refuse to move, bad plans have to. I won't show you my face today. I don't need to. If you're meant to hear this, you already know the truth in it. And if you're meant to help, you already feel the nudge. Let's keep what's worth keeping. Let's restore what's been stolen. Let's be the reason someone says, I'm staying.